Mark Henry back on the On Your Mark Show, 105.4 RPWP, thepulseradio.com. It's powered and sponsored by Epic Sports Apparel. Got a special guest tonight. This is the second season of football. The state championships wrapped up last weekend, and now we're going to dive right into 707. Let's bring in Coach Duffey. He is the head coach, the director of Texas Ice, one of the top 707 programs in the state. Let's bring in Coach Duffey. How's it going, Coach?
Oh, good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. So what we like to do on the show is start with your background a little bit, where you played ball at, and up to where you're leading up to where you are now.
Okay, yeah, man. Raised most of my life in Louisiana, military brat. Played high school ball there, played college ball there. Came here to Texas. Ever since then, been coaching high school football, 7-on-7 football, training, things like that. Just very involved in the game. Just been a part of my life, my entire life.
Now, 707, let's get right into it, man. It's one of the fastest growing sports, if you will. It's football, but it's fast paced. It's all skill positions, from the quarterbacks to the running backs to wide receivers, tight ends, and on the defense, you got linebackers and all of the defensive backs. What have you seen that makes this such almost a religion now?
Just like AAU basketball, it's just an outlet for these kids to get out and sharpen their skills in a different environment than, say, a normal practice. It's all practice, it's all reps, and I think the fast-paced nature of the game, the, air raid, constant for months, guarding it and executing it on the offensive side of the ball. I know it makes these players, just a whole nother monster, especially the quarterbacks. I mean, you see it all in college, all in the NFL. These kids come in ready. There ain't no sitting the bench and learning and having to wait. I mean, shoot, they throw the ball for 12 months.
No doubt. I mean, you can just look at you brought up the NFL. You could just talk about Texas quarterbacks in general. Kyler Murray, the one that had a great season this year. Extensive 7-on-7 background. He was trained by his father,
Yeah.
Kevin Murray, the Texas A&M, quarterback back in the day. Vince Young was probably right towards the beginning of when it started to get hot.
Right.
He was a great quarterback here in the state of Texas. The quarterbacks seem to shine. How important is it for them to get rep after rep after rep?
It's super important. It's like anything you do. The more you do something, the better you're going to get at it. I mean, especially when you can be successful and when you make mistakes. I mean, again, it's practice. So what better place to throw that interception in some random tournament in some random city somewhere? It's not the state championship. It's not round 2 in a playoff game when, your whole school and your whole city is counting on you to make that throw. You've got a time to make those mistakes. You got a time to be successful. So when that season starts in the fall, you're ready for anything.
It also keeps them in shape. Now, you also get the training of, getting your wind right, getting your steps right on the offensive side. And the defensive side, you're reading offensive sets. You're getting a chance to go one-on-one all the time.
Right.
How important has that been, in your opinion?
Again, it's super important, just like the quarterbacks. I'll start with the DBs. So first of all, as a DB, there's certain sets and certain formations that you may see in an 11-man game. Well, in 7-on-7, there's all types of exotic formations. You got quads, you motion in the quads. It's a lot of thinking. It's a lot of fast-paced execution. You see what I'm saying? So on the defensive side of the ball, they're seeing all different types of looks. On the offensive side of the ball, the same. It's more than just your normal 1-to-9 route tree. You've got all different types of angles you're running. Like I said, the motions into, the post, the corners, the comeback post, things like that. It builds a bigger beast when you can go outside the box and just add more tools into what you already had coming out of the fall, going into the next fall.
Now, Texas Ice is your baby. It's your organization. Let's talk about how that got started and what you guys are doing over there.
Okay, well, we started off as Goon Squad maybe about 5-6 years ago.
That's when we met. That's where we met.
Yeah. We had a great run with that brand. You know, we moved away from the Goon Squad brand to Texas Ice. Really just wanted to get away from the name. I felt that everywhere we went, people were expecting to see some goons, when in
Right.
reality, we just had some, hardworking young men that loved the game. So that persona, I decided that we were going to get away from. So we came out Texas Ice, and this is year 2 going in, and we had an awesome year last year. Won a lot of championships. Kids got offers, went off to college, and we want to repeat it again year 2.
Now, you don't just have high school. You start down at about the 6th grade and on up. And that kind of builds, a farm system, if you will, or builds them up until you have these kids all the way through middle school and high school. Yeah. How important is that to have that familiarity with them, and as well as develop them?
Okay, so, outside of sports, we're trying to raise young men. You know what I mean? So when I get the kids at 16, 17 years old, a lot of them are really molded into what, they're going to be for the most part,
Right.
But when we get them as babies, 6th grade, and we can bring them up through the ranks, we can really help mold them and help them become the young men we all want them to be. So, I love the babies. I love our young, ice babies, as I call them. They're fun to watch. It's fun to see them grow, learn, and just, love the game. So, yeah, it's very important for us. And as you know, a lot of those young talents grow to be those 4 stars, 5 stars that get recruited by, all the top D1 schools in the nation. So, we love to have a part in that development. You know what I mean?
Now, the key word was development, and you also develop relationships with the kids and their families, and that's what makes it important. And I think that's one of the things, and I'll get you in on this, the bad rep that, I will say that some communities, or, let's just say high school coaches, for example, some of them are threatened by 7-on-7, or threatened by, organizations like Texas Ice, thinking they're trying to take the kids away from them, or distract them in a certain way. How do you work hand in hand with those guys?
I'm a straightforward cat. I definitely understand that stigma's out there, which is rightfully so, because with anything, there's your good and your bad. But I'm a true believer that in our game, the good outweighs the bad by far. There's a lot of guys that are in it for the right reasons. Texas Ice is definitely in it for the right reasons. I feel that we have great relationships with coaches. Now, in the past, we're willing to work with any kids if they ever have anything to do with school. That's first. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where you just have to be upfront, show your cards early, let everybody know what you expect, what you're willing to negotiate throughout the season. And when it comes to me, high school, anything to do with your high school, whether it's your SAT, ACT, your athletic teams, if there's something you need to do with them, then that's exactly where you need to be, because this is why we do it, for you to do better when you're with them.
Now, we touched on recruiting a little bit, and the aspect of how 7-on-7 is a helping hand to it. And you kind of mentioned these guys. You spoke about SATs. Talk about the importance of grades when it comes to recruiting.
It's number one, man. Like, if you don't have the grades, then these schools won't even, they're not going to waste their time with you, because it's a lot of money, man. They're putting a lot of money, a lot of resources, depending on what level you're going to. We could be talking the hundreds of thousands when it's all said and done. When you accumulate everything you're going to receive, the time you're there at that school. So, you have to have the grades, because if you're not doing it in high school, they assume that you're not going to be able to do it in college, when you have your workload is double, triple in some cases. So yeah, man, those grades, it's super important. And we push that, we preach that, and there's no going around that, and a coach will tell you, if you're not smart in the classroom, how do I know you're going to be able to execute what I need you to do on the field? It's as simple as that.
Again, Coach Duffey here on the On Your Mark show from Texas Ice, one of the top 7-on-7 organizations located in the DFW area. Now, Coach, we just talked about grades as far as recruiting. We've also talked about what you guys do to help them get to the next level. How important off the field is it just to be a good kid, have a great reputation, and how do you guys influence your guys in the community as well as what they do on the field with you guys?
Yeah, reputation is everything. You got to stand on who you are, what you do. Talk is cheap. You know, you're always being evaluated. You're always being looked at, whether you're at a camp, whether you're walking down the street, whether you're in the classroom, whether you're on the field at a 7-on-7 tournament. You're being evaluated. So how you carry yourself, the moves you make can determine how the rest of your life plays out. I mean, one mistake can ruin you. You know what I mean? So when these college coaches come to me, they talk to their high school coaches. The first thing they're going to ask them is, what kind of kid is he? Because nobody wants to bring some kid to their school for 4 years that's going to make them miserable. You see what I'm saying? Because
yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, these coaches, they feed their families by
Right.
by these kids coming to these schools and performing and acting accordingly, to be able to stay on the field. So character is everything. With Texas Ice, you know, being a good athlete is great, but if you're a troublemaker, if you're not doing the right thing in the community, then we can't have you around, because that's not what we stand for, and that's not going to get us where we want to be.
Now, you mentioned earlier Texas Ice is more than just running plays, running routes. You guys also have a training program, things that you work in and out of season with these guys. Give us a little insight on that for us,
Uh,
Texas
you know,
Ice.
just personal training sessions, position basic, whatever it is that we're going on that day. Our kids play August through about December, you know what I mean? So after that, January through July, we're going in 7-on-7. So, most of our training occurs during our practices. We like to have our first session with, individual skills, and then we'll finish off with our 7-on-7 plays and, our scrimmage. So that's how we like to run it. We like to stay as involved with our kids as we can, because it's either that or them being at home on the couch, and we don't want that.
Well, definitely, man, and I agree, Coach Duffy. You got to keep these kids active because idle mind is just something that you don't want in this day and
Yeah,
age. And there are a lot of things that give kids distractions. And you guys, Texas Ice mentorship is one of the things that you talked about as well.
yeah.
Touch on that just a little bit.
Okay, so man, a lot of my coaches are more than coaches. They're great at what they do, the X's and O's, but it's way more than that with us, because again, we want to build men, and all my guys, they're all on the same page with me. So anytime we can get one of our kids, give them a word of encouragement, whatever's going on, hopefully they all know they can come to me with whatever issues or problems they may be having, outside of the field, because we all go through things, you know what I mean? And I want them to know that they've always got someone to come to, whether it's me or any of my other coaches in my organization. We're here for the kids.
Most definitely, and that's I've had a chance to talk to you on a couple of occasions. And the first time we met, you guys have a strong bond. And how important is the relationship with the parents between your organization and the parents themselves? That's because you can't have the kids without the parents. They kind of go hand in hand.
It's very important. Like you said, without the parents, there are no kids. So it's all about communication, letting them know what's going on, any questions, any concerns, just having an open door. That's our policy. We like to be transparent at all times. And I believe as long as you do that, there should be no issues. Of course, you may not always agree with, whatever it is, that may be going on at the time, but you always just have to be honest, and as long as you do that, there should be no issues. And our parents are great, man. They support us. They're always at the tournaments live, representing for the program. They're great, man. I couldn't ask for any better parents than we have.
Now, before we get out of here, let's touch on a few of the kids that you have in your organization, that some guys that we can look forward to this 7-on-7 season and going into the next 2021 football season.
Okay, yeah, man. I'll just name a couple right now. We got Chris Parson, quarterback. You know, he's a 4-star athlete. You know, he's incredible. He's one of the best top quarterbacks in the nation. You know, strong arm, put it anywhere on the field. Smart kid, good guy. You know, couldn't ask for a better leader. You know, we've got a kid named Ethan Sloan out of Gunner, Texas. Yeah,
my guy.
Ethan's a beast, man. You know, he's one of those kids where, you know, he may get overlooked because of the school that he plays for, because it's not a 5A, 6A school. Right. You know, Gunner's a beast. You know, state champions every year.
But, they have a pedigree.
They have a pedigree. Yeah, right. Gunner breeds the dog, so he's definitely a top dog in Gunner. So, you know, look out for Ethan Sloan. He's going to be someone to reckon with for sure. You know, that's on the defensive side of the ball. We've got Landon. Landon's coming out of Timberview. He's a 4-star safety. Yeah, so Landon Hullaby, you know, so
I'm acquainted with Mr. Hullaby. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, you know, Landon Hullaby is a dog, you know, and that's just a couple of names, man. We got a lot of them. I could go on and on and on for days. You know, we'll touch on them on future shows and everything like that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. But, yeah, man, we got a whole kennel from 6th grade all the way through 11th and graduating, you know, so, yep.
Well, no doubt. And what Coach Duffey is speaking on is, the On Your Mark show is going to be working closely with Texas Ice, also Top Texas Prospect Show. We're going to be working closely with you this 7-on-7 season. And I look forward to getting to know some of those kids. And we're definitely going to have those kids featured on the show within the coming weeks, man. I'm super excited about it.
Yeah.
And look forward. We've been talking behind the scenes for the last couple of weeks. And I think it's going to be a beautiful marriage, man. I look forward to it, man.
It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be awesome, man. And that's what we want to do here on the On Your Mark show is network with, you know, you've been knowing us, you know, when I say us, Top Texas Prospects and myself for a little while. And that's what we do is promote the kids and anybody that needs that help, man. And that's what we want to do, man. Yeah. Now, before we get out of here, where can they find you if they want to reach out to you? Give us your Texas Ice Twitter, Instagram, everything.
Okay, man. Yeah, you can find us on Twitter at Texas Ice 7v7, Instagram Texas Ice 7v7. Follow us, you know, comment, like us. You know, we'll comment back. You know, interact with us, baby. It's all live. Texas Ice 7v7.
There you have it, man. Texas Ice 7v7, man.
Shout out
Look
to
at that shirt.
Shout out to
football.
Yeah,
all right.
Shout out to Hero.
Man, no doubt. That's my guy, Coach Duffey from Texas Ice 7v7 here on the On Your Mark show on 105.4 RPWP. We'll take a quick break and we'll be right back.